Audrey, welcome to our Between Games interview. It's good to have you here.
Good to be here.
Is it good to be playing softball finally on a little bit more consistent basis? You know, not so many rainouts and that kind of stuff, and lots of games to make up?
Yeah, it's nice to finally kind of get into a routine. And, you know, it gets kind of boring just only getting to be indoors, especially if your games get rained out. We don't usually get to use the field, so it's been nice to be outside.
How do you stay sharp?
Just focusing
Yeah.
in the dairy. I'm trying to take as much from Coach Van Dyke as we can, just being inside.
I can imagine, though, those practice sessions get long because you start in the fall and all winter long, and then again you're doing it in the spring. Got to be a breath of fresh air to get outside and literally get outside and get some fresh air.
Yeah.
But how about playing at home? Haven't had many home games, but have you enjoyed those so far?
Yeah, it's always nice to see familiar faces in the crowd, and it's hard for people to travel with us sometimes. I know we have a really good fan base, but even seeing our friends and like fellow students and other athletes that we support, it's a good feeling to know that they support us too. Yeah,
you know, and I've thought we get good softball crowds. We get, and they're not just in numbers, but we get a lot of people that are enthusiastic, and that's got to feel great for you guys.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a good feeling to know that the community has our back.
Right. You are a third baseman, and that's a kind of an unusual, it's not like baseball third base. I mean, it is and it isn't, but the one thing I'm always wondering about, how close do you get to the hitter when you start to feel uncomfortable? How close is that?
Well, it gets kind of scary. A lot of times Coach will tell me to move in, and I'm like, okay. I try to start kind of further back, but then take a few steps, bigger steps to go in, and it's just, I don't know, a lot of times at third, you either get the ball or you don't. There's not a lot of reaction time. So,
absolutely. Yeah, there's no reaction time. You either knock it down or it knocks you down.
Yeah.
Right. Have you ever been hurt playing that close?
Only once last year. I got drilled in the foot.
You did?
Yeah, my dad told me that it was my fault because I should have put my glove down. But
thanks, Dad.
Yeah.
He kind of knew that?
Yeah.
Have you ever played anywhere else on the softball field?
Growing up, I played first base for travel teams. In high school, I played short a little bit.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What's the thing you enjoy most about softball? Which skill do you enjoy the most?
A lot of people probably say hitting, but that gets too frustrating at times. I really like fielding because it doesn't matter how bad you're hitting, you can always go out in the field and make a good play.
Oh, that's so true. Yeah. So true. How about hitting? How have your plate appearances gone this year, and how do you feel about your hitting at the moment?
I feel like it started off pretty strong, and then I got in my head a little bit, but I've been working to try to get back in that headspace of being locked in, and it's been a process, but we're getting there.
I can't help but feel like the inconsistency in the weather has got to hurt you as a hitter.
Yeah, it's a big difference, even like depth perception being in the dairy and just front toss compared to live hitting. And we've gotten a lot of, when we're outside, a lot of times we'll get live looks off of our pitchers, which is really nice.
Right. When you are playing softball, that's certainly something that occupies a lot of your time. You're also a student, and that's part of that student-athlete thing. What are you doing in school academically?
Right now I'm just getting a transfer degree because when I came here I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but next year I'm looking into going into the teaching program at Missouri Western. Okay. And I'm going to get a minor. They have a minor where you can basically coaching minor, and I'm going to think about going into coaching and teaching. Right.
I would assume coaching softball?
Basketball.
Basketball. Yeah. Oh, okay. Interesting. That's an interesting choice. And what do you want to teach? What area?
History.
History.
And government, yeah.
All right. Good deal. Where are you from? What's your hometown?
My hometown is Cosby, Missouri, which is about 30 minutes from where I went to high school at. So our elementary middle school didn't have a high school. It was a K through 8, so we got to pick wherever we wanted for high school, as long as that county touched our county, and they paid the tuition. So I kind of followed my aunt and all my friends to East Buchanan. She was the basketball coach there, and I had played basketball, like rec ball, with a bunch of those girls growing up, so most of my friends were already there, so that was a good transition.
That's the second time you've mentioned basketball. It must be pretty significant in your life.
Yeah, in high school we won state. It was a really big deal. I feel like I'm better at softball. Basketball always have a part of my heart.
Right.
So,
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you're going to get your chance, I think, to have as much basketball as you want if you end up being a coach.
Yeah.
What do you do in your spare time? What's something fun that you like to do?
Hang out with friends, I guess.
There's
not really a whole lot else to do in Trenton. We drive around a lot. and go to Sonic.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, good. And finally, tell me a little bit about your family. They're in Cosby, or are you rural, or?
Well, our side of the road is country, and then there's a neighborhood on the other side of the road.
Is that
so
right?
it's like
Okay.
about 10 minutes from St. Joe, so it's kind of a good mix between.
And I'm guessing Cosby's not very big.
No, it's like 157 people.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
So, and your family?
I have a dad. Well, I have a dad.
We kind of all suspected that.
I have a stepmom, and then I have a full sister that's 15. She also plays basketball and softball.
Okay.
Then I have a stepsister who's 10, and then I have a 4-year-old half sister.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you, with your older sisters, end up playing in the driveway and going out on the field or anything? And do you give them some pointers, or they just focus on beating you?
So my 10-year-old sister is more into, she plays softball, but she's more into ice skating and piano,
Right.
and she's pretty good at ice skating. And I tried to give my 15-year-old sister as many pointers because
Sure.
she has a lot of potential to be a really good basketball player and softball player, and that makes me excited.
That's neat. Yeah. Finally, let me ask you this as a second-year player. When you are done at North Central, how do you want people to remember you?
Probably for being, I'm pretty loud, energetic and loud in the dugouts, being a good teammate.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for visiting with us.
You're welcome.
Game 2 of the doubleheader is coming up in a moment.